So, Peavey have responded to a video that I made a couple of weeks ago, and I completely missed it. So, I'm going to cover it now. I only just saw it, so we're just going to do a quick bit of coverage of their side of the story, as well as address, and more so debunk, something that they've said about me. So this all stems from a video I did a couple of weeks ago covering George Lynch's pretty serious allegations against Peavey that he made 5 years ago on a podcast. Now I could give you the recap, but the clip itself is only about 1.5 minutes long in total, so I'm just going to show you that so you're up to speed, and then we'll get into what Peavey's saying.
I do remember the Peavey trip. I don't remember a meeting, but yeah, I remember Meridian, Mississippi, because it's kind of stuck out in my memory because it was sort of an odd kind of destination, you know. I thought
it is.
It was sort of I'd never even heard of it before, and then found out a little bit about it. And really, the town sort of exists for like two things, because it's the headquarters of Peavey, and there's a lot of prisons.
Yeah, there you go.
And I also found out a lot of the prisoners work for Peavey.
Yeah, well, you get your labor where you can. That's
well, yeah. I don't think having slaves do your working in a for-profit corporation is the right thing to do, but they'll do it if they can get away with it, which they were. And I found out about that, or had knowledge of that. And there came a point in our discussions where they wanted me to sign a non-disclosure statement. I promised never to reveal the fact that they used prison labor to build their amps.
Wow.
I didn't sign it.
This story was seemingly then picked up by Guitar.com and Guitar World as well. They both did articles, and I'm going to quote myself here. This is what I said at the end of the video, and I said, "It's a pretty serious allegation from George, and it's one that's very hard to prove. I've searched high and low to find any reference to this anywhere, and I couldn't find it." And that does speak to George's story about the NDA. If true, all the people that know about this can't say anything. And then I also said I did not hear back from Peavey after a request for comment, which I didn't. And a spokesperson for the brand, however, did tell Guitar.com that Peavey did not have any record of being contacted by KDH. This was both done in the Guitar World article as well. So Peavey don't have any record of me contacting them, but it's a good thing that I do. So I'm going to show you. Peavey have a bunch of contact information on the website, but most of it doesn't really apply to what I was trying to do. You've got customer and technical support, you've got Peavey dealer and service center, parts department, returns, repair assistance. None of these really fit. So I searched up Peavey press contact, and I got that email off the Peavey website, marketing@peavey.com. For other media requests, please contact us at marketing@peavey.com. So that fit closer to what I'm trying to do, because it is a press request. So on the 24th of July 2023 at 13 minutes past 4, I sent an email to marketing@peavey.com. I entitled it "Press Request for Comment," and I even started off with, "Hi, this might not be the right email for this. If not, I would really appreciate it if it was forwarded to the correct contact at Peavey. Thanks." That's just covering in case this marketing wasn't the right email. I thought it would be, but just in case. So yada 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 yada. I recently came across an allegation made by an ex-Peavey artist, George Lynch, where he stated that Peavey used prison labor in the manufacturing of its amps and when they were made in the USA. He also alleged that Peavey attempted to get him to sign an NDA, but he didn't. I will be covering these allegations in a video, and I wanted to ask if Peavey had any comment on this topic. Did Peavey use prison labor? Thanks for your time. That there is a request for comment. Plain and simple, there's the proof. So if anyone from Guitar World or Guitar.com is watching, which you might be, would be cool if you edited that article with a line saying KDH went on to provide proof, evidence, so on and so forth, of me contacting Peavey, because I did. There it is, and there was no response either. So the article continues, Peavey also categorically denied the allegations, writing, quote, "Lynch is apparently confused with some other manufacturer or story that he was told, and is mistaken in his comment about Peavey using prison labor." Peavey claimed to have, quote, "no record of any NDA with Lynch." So there's another example of Peavey not having records of something, and I wouldn't blame you if you were a little bit doubtful of them, because, well, we have first-hand experience of their record keeping not exactly being the most accurate. If they can't find an email from a couple of weeks ago, how are they going to find a contract from 20 plus years ago? That would be a fair question to ask. But in this case, I believe Peavey. I believe that, what was the quote? they have no record of any NDA with Lynch, because no one's disputing that. If you go back to George's allegations, he alleges that Peavey tried to get him to sign an NDA and he didn't. So how would you have record of an NDA with Lynch if he didn't sign one? No one's disputing this. And it's hard to tell here whether this is a very cleverly worded statement or it's just a poorly done one. If they wanted to instill confidence and not leave any room to doubt, because that wording there does make me doubt things, I think they should probably address the allegations a little bit more head on and say, we did not try and get George Lynch to sign an NDA. This is just, we don't have a record of it. And again, Peavey and records of things, we have personal experience, not the best. Okay, so no record of any NDA with Lynch, but it did point out the confidentiality section of his artist contract, which essentially asked him not to unduly share internal company data. In its statement to Guitar.com, the brand writes, Peavey finds no violation of Lynch's confidentiality agreement from his erroneous statement, but it has issues with the slanderous nature thereof. Quote, Peavey has employed thousands and thousands of employees who worked diligently in our own manufacturing facilities. Mr. Lynch should retract his statement, confirming his comments and his understanding were incorrect. Guitar.com then went on to contact George Lynch for comment. Doesn't seem to be any update on that. And as far as I've seen, I haven't seen anything on George's social media talking about this. No denials or retractions or any comment at all. So that's the update on this story. Apologies for the delay. I can't believe I missed it. But if there is any other future update, I will cover it if George comments on it or whatever. But it doesn't seem that he will, because it's been a while. But that's the update. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Like the video if you want to. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.